Welcome back. The first ever National Advanced Subsidiary Level results were released in the Otjozondjupa region this past Wednesday. The Namibian qualifications are now on par with those of the majority of countries across the globe, according to the Minister of Education, Arts and Culture, Anna Nyipondoka. However, there is still some uncertainty about what learners should do after receiving their AS level certificates. Joining me in studio to clarify these matters is Clementine Tsumis-Garises, the Director of National Examinations and Assessments in the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome back to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me again.
What is the next step after students have received their results and their certificates?
Yeah, the next step now is for the candidates to take their 2020 ordinary level certificate, which they obtained that time, which gave them permission and admission to continue with advanced subsidiary, take the statement of results for advanced subsidiary, put them together, look at 5 best subjects without duplicating any subject, without repeating any subject. So they should look at the grades that they obtained for ordinary level, plus the grades they obtained at AS level, start writing down from the highest, the subject where they obtained the highest grade, up to the last, and take only 5 subjects, combining both results. Then they should take this point scale of the university or tertiary institution they applied to, attached a value, a point for each grade, add up those totals, see whether they meet the required points for entry for that specific course. Why should they use both? Because AS is an add-on qualification. You first have to do ordinary level in order to proceed to AS. And AS is taken only in 3 subjects, for example.
At a time?
Minimum. Minimum. Which means there are candidates who took 3 subjects only, others took 4, others took 5. So if you have 3 subjects, you need 2 more to have 5 in order to get access to tertiary institution. So both results are very important, and it's also important for candidates to know what is the point scale applied by the institution of higher learning they want to venture into.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we get to the particulars of the point scale, if you compare your ordinary level results that they obtained 2 years ago with the latest AS results, if all my ordinary level results are better than the 4 or 5 or 3 AS level results, could I then just stick to the ordinary level results for purposes of determining the percentage as per the point scale?
Excellent question. Yes, you can. But that should also be able to help you to access that specific course you want to. If the requirement at university is AS, 2 subjects or 3 subjects, you will not be able to access admitted if you use only ordinary level. But it doesn't stop you. If you did not do well at AS, it doesn't stop you to use ordinary, the good grades you got in ordinary level, to try another institution because they have different point scales, and to still get admitted.
That gives rise to another fascinating question. So if this institution requires mathematics on AS level, for instance, but my AS level result for maths is not as good as my ordinary level result, I would not be able to use the better ordinary level results because the institution where I want to pursue tertiary studies requires that subject on AS level.
The point is, if I had an A star in mathematics at ordinary level, and I got a C at AS. A star at ordinary level counts 8 points, for example, at UNAM scale. And a C counts 7 points at UNAM scale for AS. Where do I benefit? A star. I still have to approach the institution. They might consider it. They might even have a combination where I say, either C or B grade at AS or A star at ordinary level.
That brings us to the point scales. Why would different tertiary institutions, especially if they're both Namibian tertiary institutions have different point scales. And I know it's perhaps unfair to expect you to speak on behalf of the tertiary institution, but for us to understand how these point scales work and why there would be, I want to call it discrepancies, but perhaps they're only variances.
Yeah, it is. You rightfully said it's not my place to answer that, but from our point of view, UNAM for Studies offers 4-year degrees, if I look at teachers' qualifications. So the main course, what they offer is a 4-year degree, which is honours now. Now, if I take NAST, they start with a 3-year degree, and then the candidate has to go for the 4th year additional to get honours. So why should, in my view, why should a NAST pack it the same as UNAM while they are offering a 3-year degree compared to UNAM that is offering a 4-year degree to enter? So that is why NAST scores are lower. On top of that, every institution has got its own standards and values they attach to, even in South Africa, to an A, B, or C, percentage-wise also.
Notwithstanding the merits that a standardized approach would have, of course.
That's for the Minister of Higher Education and higher education to venture into. Yes, notwithstanding.
Very well,
Yes.
ma'am. Now, parents, pupils, for various reasons, often would want to have exam papers remarked. How does that work specifically as far as it relates to AS exams?
Yes, it is a provision that is in our system for the public to request for that. And it is being charged for $220 per subject. Now, during our process of validating and grade reviewing, we call it grade reviewing, we look at the borderline cases from the start, from the onset, without anybody asking us.
And without
borderline
cost.
cases, without anybody asking, meaning grade thresholds, you start maybe from 81 up to 100% is an A. All the candidates that scored 79, 78, their numbers are flagged by the system. And then we pull those scripts and we remark it.
In any event?
Throughout. Throughout. So already the borderline cases are taken care of, free of charge. Then, if a candidate scores a C grade, they feel, remark my mathematics. Okay, we will remark. That's your right, and you ask for it. But the grade will not change, because the few points that you needed, the marks that you needed to push you to the next grade, have been taken care of. But on top of that, grade thresholds, it's a range. As I said, it's from 81 to 100%. If you fall on 82 and you got an A, you need how many points? Quite a lot of points in order to move. Let me not take A, in case of AS. B grade, let's say it is 70 to 79%, okay? Or points that you have to obtain to fall in that range. Now you have 80, okay? You need 1 point to move to the A grade, where the range starts from 81. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, if it has been checked already and there was nothing, even if you ask for remarking and you pay, there will be nothing.
One can respect that procedure, but these are human beings who mark these scripts, ma'am. These are human beings who moderate those scripts. So there could be a discrepancy because human beings are involved and human error is possible. Is that so?
Of course, but we are now using, for the past few years, we are using conveyor belt marking, which is different from what we used in the past. In the past, you take the script of a candidate as one marker, you start from the top, you mark everything throughout the bottom. Now we are doing it like a conveyor. All of us, a group of people are assigned to mark only the first question, because before they start marking, markers are subjected to answering the question paper first.
Wow.
For us to see how do you fare yourself, the content knowledge you have. And if you are very comfortable in the first question, that's the group that will mark only the first question. The next group, only the second question. That's a more accurate marking Then you, taking one full script, you mark first one, you go to second. By the time you come to the third one, you might have forgotten, you know. So we are more accurate than here now with the conveyor belt.
Thank you, ma'am.
But that doesn't stop them to apply for it.
I wish we had an entire day to unpack this, because that's how long it's going to require, but we don't. Any final remarks this morning, please?
Yeah, it's just for the candidates to understand that all is not lost. As you indicated earlier on, they should check if I do not meet the requirement for this specific course, I can maybe move to another institution and take another course that can get me entry to continue and not stop.
Or if I want to improve my AS results, I could re-enroll. Is that also possible?
Part-time basis, yes, that's possible.
Thank you very much for your time, and best of luck. You and your team have your work cut out for you, I believe.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
There you have it. That was the Director of National Examinations and Assessments, Ms. Clementine Tsumis-Garises, talking to us about the AS level results that were released this past Wednesday and how we can deal with possible questions and discrepancies.